Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now. Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
We have the best house band in Las Cruces. All right, thank you. And what's up, Las Cruces? Thanks for joining me. I'm Sam Stichter, here for another week of the Sam Stichter Show, of course. And you know, well, folks, we are almost at the scariest day of the year. Yes, Election Day. And you know, this year, they say Joe Biden is leading in the polls, but, you know, we can't always trust that because we know what happened in 2016. But, you know, if he does win, that's pretty good news for his son Hunter, because now he can get a job closer to home. And, oh, let's not forget Donald Trump. How can we forget Trump? This guy, I mean, how dumb, I mean, he is so dumb. This guy is so dumb that he thinks Roe versus Wade is the decision that George Washington had to make when he crossed the Delaware. Get it? Roe, Wade. I know you can blame our writers for that one. Well, it's almost Halloween, folks. But, I mean, really, let's be honest here. Do we really need another day to honor Halloween? I mean, we've been wearing masks and eating candy for the last 7 months. I know for sure I have. Well, we have a great show here tonight. As I mentioned, Election Day is right around the corner, and we have New Mexico Senate candidate. He's running for New Mexico 37, Dave Gallus, the cooking candidate. He's here in the house, and he's going to be cooking some bruschetta. And then we also have two people that are running for president and vice president of the United States. Sam Titttle and Dave Sandridge are here. They're running on the Constitution table. And then, to top it off, we have a great musical guest. Neil Mccowen is here, and he's going to be singing some of his awesome country songs. So, folks, put down that mail-in ballot, pick up some candy corn, grab yourself a pumpkin spice latte, and we'll be right back after these messages with Sam Stichter. We'll see you then.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Thank you. Welcome back to this week. You know, folks, one of the things here at the Las Cruces channel that I have to thank my producer and everyone working here is we have been very safe during this whole time of COVID-19. You can see Scotty here has his mask on, and you may be wondering why I don't have mine, because I do have the glass between the guest here and myself, and also we take every precaution here. And that's why we're able to continue the show each and every week, because we do take these precautions. So I just wanted to pass that along, because I do feel like it's very important. So, and speaking of very important, as I said, the big topic right now, of course, is COVID-19. And the other thing that's obviously taking over the airways and is on everybody's mind is the presidential election and Election Day that's coming up in less than 2 weeks. So speaking of candidates, we have one here from my first guest. Let's go ahead and welcome him, Dave Gallus. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Thanks, folks.
So, Dave, tell us a little bit about the office you're running for and why you're running.
I'm running for New Mexico State Senate in District 37. My area will cover from about University Avenue, including Talavera section, traveling north all the way to the limits of the county. It would be almost to Upham, just past Radium Springs. It covers from the I-25 east to the mountains. The fellow I'm running against is the incumbent Bill Souls, who currently holds that position.
All right, so is this your first time running for office?
Yes, it is. Never did this before, but I feel an urgency to get involved and to help out our state as best I can.
So I was going to say, so why would anybody get involved in this? What you said you felt a sense of urgency, but what in particular is driving you, if you will?
Well, I asked myself that question, and I have this urge to get into politics because I think it's for the same reason I became a Philadelphia policeman. When I was 19 years old, I joined the Philadelphia Police Department.
Wow, okay, good.
And I think the reason is then and now it's because I detest a bully. When I was a kid growing up in Northeast Philadelphia, I would get into fistfights sometimes. We handled bullies on the ball field, and I usually held my own. And then when I went to high school, it was a little bit tougher. Then I became a policeman, and I dealt with bullies that were criminals, murderers, rapists, robbers.
Yeah.
So it was a different kind of bully. But now, but those criminals you could deal with, you knew what you had to deal with. But in politics, it seems insidious, almost as if these are supposed to be nice people, but they're bullying us citizens. Like, I mean, our governor, she shuts down the whole state because there's an infection, and we're not told how many people are actually dying from COVID alone. My thought is that, okay, when you have an infection, you protect the people that are at risk, the seniors, the ones with underlying health conditions. But our governor shuts down the whole state. It's like, we're not getting the truth here. But I've seen this as well with city council meetings, county commissioners meetings that I've been at and spoke at, Santa Fe. It's almost as if the politicians work completely opposite the way the people want. So I want to get in, make a difference. And my opponent and I are about 180 degrees out. We have very differing opinions on different issues. So
you mentioned that you used to be a police officer.
Yes.
So, and I know you said Philadelphia, and of course I'm from Pennsylvania as well.
Oh,
as I mentioned several times on the show, I'm from Reading.
Okay.
So I've been to Philly. So who knows? We might have crossed paths sometime. Hopefully not. I don't think I ever got in any legal trouble, so probably not that way.
I don't think a white boy in the neighborhoods I worked in, I was the only white boy there. I was 19 years old, and when I finally realized I was on a beat at Germantown and Lehigh in North Philadelphia, I went, oh my God, what did I get involved in? But I had good, strong, tough policemen that showed me how to survive, how to do the job, so I made it out. And after 10 years on the street in North Philadelphia, in the ghettos, I was transferred. I was in the Marine unit, so I got to be a police diver. I love that job. Diving the tropical waters of the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Black water. You couldn't see anything, but it was better than being shot at. So
my brother's a master scuba diver in Pennsylvania, and he tell you the same thing. You can't see 2 feet in front of you.
No, it was a lot of fun though. It just got a little cold in the end there. We had to chop through the ice to get under it, to find victims that were under there or contraband or weapons or whatever it was. So, but it was a good job.
Well, but it sounds like you've been fighting for people your whole life in one form or another.
I don't like bullies. And there's innocent people, and I always want to help the people that are the underdogs that need help. So.
Good. So I know as a former police officer, you told me before the show that one of the things on your platform for sure is law and order. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, look, folks, all you have to do is look at the newsreels if you watch the right news. And I watch One American News Network and Newsmax. And there you'll get the truth. And I'm seeing like at least 20 cities that are burning and are rioting in these cities, and they're all Democratic controlled. It's like, what's going on here? What's the difference, It's like, there is no law and order. When you say, let it burn, all these businesses are now going under. Bad enough that we have the COVID where the businesses are closing, But now we have situations where the businesses are being destroyed by these Antifa and Black Lives Matter. The funny thing is, Black Lives Matter, there's not many black people that are doing the rioting. They're young millennials. And they're a victim of the education system that we're putting out in this state and across the country. We're growing little socialists. They're rebelling against their parents. They're rebelling against their government. They're rebelling against their neighbors. They're destroying their neighbors' property. Law and order. You have to have law and order. When I was a cop in Philadelphia in '71, it was just after the Watts riots in California, the New York riots, and we had a police commissioner that turned mayor, Frank Rizzo. Some people know him. You talk about a tough guy. The Black Panthers were trying to riot in Philadelphia on Columbia Avenue. He shut it down quick. He told the policeman, take your frontispieces off, which had your badge number on the top, take your badge off, take your nameplate off, drag them out of Columbia Avenue apartments where they're hiding out, strip them down to their underwear, march them into the police wagons, take them to the police station. Philadelphia did not burn because he controlled it. It was law and order. And there was a lot of respect back then. When I would lock somebody up and if we had to get in a tussle, I'd take them over to the hospital, get them stitched up. They'd be apologizing to me for causing me trouble. It's like there was a respect, a mutual respect. And the cops have a tough job, and I would not want to be on the street right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then you mentioned education as well, and I know you have some thoughts on that. And me being a teacher, I'd love to hear them.
Well, I'd like you to get your views on this too, but the fellow I'm running against, Bill Souls, nice enough guy. But like I said, we're 180 degrees out. He has been the vice chairman, now the chairman in the Senate, the top elected official in the Senate in education, and New Mexico is the worst state in the union in education. Now, and I'm thinking, what's wrong here? And we don't have many teachers. We're down, I don't know, 600 teachers in New Mexico?
There's definitely a shortage.
It's like, why? And I talk to teachers. I say, why did you leave? Or why are you unhappy with being a teacher? I said, is it money? They said, no. We didn't get into this job for money. No. We got into this job because we wanted to help the creative talents of our youth that are always searching and trying to understand. So it's not the money. Although I do believe the teachers should make about $80,000 a year, an engineer's salary. I mean, what's more important than the students and their ability to get out of the nest and grow on their own and find their own work and be independent and grow a family? So no, and I look for solutions. Now, not far from us is the Mesilla Valley Christian School, as I use an example. John Foreman, who's also running, he's the principal of Mesilla Valley Christian School. He's running for House 52. He's fed up with the school districts. Brandy Polanco, she's running for House District 36. She's a math teacher. They're in this because they want to change the system. I'm all about school choice. John Foreman School, Mesilla Valley Christian School, educates for $5,000 a year. Our New Mexico spends about $10,000 to $16,000 a year per student per year. John Foreman does it for less than half or a third. And in the 40 years that Mesilla Valley Christian School has been in business, they haven't had one student that didn't graduate high school. Wow. Our average dropout rate in New Mexico is 25 to 30%. Yeah. I know I can't do any worse, and I'm sure I can do better than that.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you really have your pulse on a lot of these issues. So I wish we could talk more, but we are running out of time here, Dave. Okay. But in our next segment, you're going to be our cooking candidate.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this.
So you're going to be cooking some bruschetta?
Well, it's actually a pico de gallo, but my sister-in-law who taught me how to make it, she's Puerto Rican, Alicia Santiago Gallus. She's a great cook because my brother was a big boy. But she taught me how to make it. It's Puerto Rican pico de gallo, but she calls it bruschetta.
All righty. Well, stay tuned, Las Cruces, because we're going to be making that as soon as we get back from this break. See you then.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor, and they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
Welcome back. As promised, we are here in our cooking corner with candidate Dave Gallus. Dave, I understand you're going to be cooking for us. What are you going to be making today?
My sister-in-law who made this recipe famous, it's called bruschetta, but actually she's Puerto Rican. Alicia Santiago Gallus is probably the best cook I know. That's why my brother was so heavy. But this is basically it's a pico de gallo. So
I can smell the garlic and the pico and
no vampires will bother you. Okay, so I'm just going to start chopping up the tomatoes, which you got to make it nice and fine. And my opponent Bill Souls, I've been talking about how we're different, but maybe he's a good cook. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'd like to challenge him to a cook-off.
Oh, there you go. We can have it right here on the show.
Yeah, sure. I got to chop up my onions, nice and fine, and I like a little bit of heat. So we got jalapenos.
Well, we are in New Mexico. You don't add a little heat, that's a sin. So.
But my friends would say, no, you need green chili.
That's true.
I like the flavor of jalapenos, and since it's my show, or I'm part of the show, I can make it what I want. Okay. And then I also like cilantro. Now, a lot of people don't like cilantro.
Including this one.
All right.
Okay.
So
I'll be honest.
Wait a minute, I thought you were Italian. I don't understand. So I do the cilantro. The few things that I add to this when I put it all together, I need some vinegar, olive oil. Let's see. Well, you always have to have a little red wine. Let's toast. Salud. Here we go. Gendan. Again, garlic, which you folks can't smell, but it's pretty strong.
If you had smell-o-vision, you'd know.
Smell-o-vision. Salt and pepper to taste. And my sister-in-law always said, taste your food. You don't just run a recipe, you got to taste it to know. If you like a little oregano powder, you can use Italian parsley, you can use basil, but like I said, I like to use cilantro. So once you make this all up, then with the magic of TV, we happen to have the finished product that I worked on earlier today.
So Dave, I know you're hoping to win, obviously. If you do win on November 3rd and you get into the Senate, what are some committees or what are some things that you really hope that you can work on in your first 100 days, let's say?
Well, I've been doing a lot of research on education. So and I understand how much of a problem education is in New Mexico. So I want to make a difference on education. Yeah. But I also would like to and I'd like the Energy Commission, but I don't know that the Senate has an Energy Commission, but maybe I can finagle something where we will have an Energy Commission, because we have so many issues about oil, gas, coal, and they want to get rid of it. So, well, let's try a little bit of the pico de gallo, but it's actually Alicia's bruschetta. And actually, the longer you take to eat it after you make it, the better it gets.
Sits for a while and gets all... Very good.
Oh, he's going back for seconds.
I am.
That's a good sign, folks. So I think I'd like to be on the Energy Commission, or I'd like to make an Energy Commission, because like I said, they're putting people out of work in the four corners. There's 450 people that are going to lose their job.
Oh,
Me, I want people to work. I want to bring businesses into New Mexico. We are a welfare state. I want us to be a business-friendly state. So.
And I don't know if I asked you doing the same, but what brought you here to Las Cruces?
My parents gave me 9 acres of ground and said it's yours. So I ended up coming out because it's cheap living, but I love it here. I love the people in New Mexico. I love the vista views. I like the wide open spaces. I like the Wild West, so I'm staying.
So, yeah, the wild west here.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully it's not going to be too wild much longer.
Well, it might be on the 4th. I don't know. After the election, it could get pretty wild.
It's been a crazy one, huh? I mean,
it has.
It's hard to see any other one like this in recent memory.
But, after the 4th, I think we can all work together. At least I
sure hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to my Democratic friends, I'd like to reach across the aisle.
Yeah. I think everyone here is glad to hear that, because I think a lot of people are tired of this fighting and all the again fighting that's
too
going
much
on.
Friction. We've had
the
enough.
Friction. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Well, again, good luck to you,
Thank
Dave,
you.
And we will find out after November 3rd how you did.
Thank you, Sam.
If you won, hopefully you won, we'll have you back on the show so you can talk.
Sounds great. Hey, did Scotty vote? Did you vote, Scotty? He's not answering me. I hope he voted. Don't forget, early elections are on now.
All right. So let's hold this up so we can see it. There you go. All right.
Bruschetta. Alicia Santiago's bruschetta.
All right. And again, good luck on November 3rd, and we'll be right back after these messages. Let's salute. Good luck to you.
Salute. 100 years.
Hi, I'm Neil Mccowen. You're watching This Week with Sam Stichter. Don't touch that dial, folks. It's good.
Welcome back to the show, folks. You know, I'm loving that taste in my mouth of that bruschetta that Dave Gallus made, our cooking candidate. Remember, he's running for New Mexico Senate, 37, and he'll be on the ballot on November 3rd. And also, here in October, it's the month for breast cancer awareness, so you might see that I changed my shirt. In the earlier segment, I had a pink shirt on for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but since we have some really important, great guests coming up, I wanted to dress up a little bit. We have our musical guest coming up in the next segment here, and then we also have two people that are running for president and vice president of the United States, so I thought I had to look my best for them. But as I said, we are going to be having our musical guest here in the studio. His name is Neil Mccowen, and he's right here with us. Welcome to the show,
How
Neil.
you doing, buddy? Thank you.
So Neil, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the music industry.
I got in the music business at a Christmas play in early 60s. Didn't know I could sing, but I've been playing country music about 55 years.
Wow, long time.
I've been in New Mexico for about 45, something like that.
So where were you born and raised?
Southwest Virginia, coal mines and Appalachian Mountains.
You're a coal miners.
Everybody in my family was a coal miner, man. I said, not for me.
Yeah, I'm from the East. I'm from Pennsylvania, so
Same country.
yeah, same country, same part of the country, right? So, so I know you've worked with some of the greats. Can you tell us some of the people you've worked with during your career?
I've worked with, when you're as old as I am, you've worked with everybody by accident. Anything else? Waylon, Willie, Brooks and Dunn, Shannon, Doe, just almost anybody.
You know them so well. You're on a first day basis, right?
Yeah, I know a lot of them. A bunch of them.
So, but I know you said to me that you actually wrote a song for your wife, Susie. Can we hear a little bit of it?
Absolutely. This is one called "You're My Everything." Guitars play, I'll sing my songs to others. I'll sit here and write songs about you. Up there in the lights, I'll make everyone feel right by singing our songs about the way love ought to be. You are my sunshine, you are my falling rain, you are the flowers that bloom the silvery moon on a summer's night. You are my everything, you make life worth living. Baby, hold me close and tell me you feel the same way too. About half of it.
That's beautiful. And
it gets mushy after that, dude.
Well, speaking of which, I could see you looking at your wife off camera, and I could see you, the love in your eyes. You were looking right at her.
My best friend.
I hear you. My wife is my best friend too, so I can relate to that. How long you two been together?
600 years. My wife, I
can relate to that too.
I was playing music at the Desert Sun, and she came in, and I'd never seen her before, but I kind of fell in love with her. And a few months later, she came back into my life as a friend, and we were friends for a couple of years, and we've just been inseparable. We were meant to be to each other. It's 35 years plus.
Wow, that's awesome. So I know you mentioned a little earlier you played with some of the great. What are some venues that people might know around the country or here in the Southwest that you played at?
Well, you know, actually, if you want to know the places I played the most, it's the most well known was the Desert Sun out on North Main Street. Everybody in New Mexico visits the Desert Sun.
There you go.
And from there, you know, actually, from there you have to go to the next biggest club. After 7 years, 10 years or something, I went to Cowboys. And then from Cowboys, I went to Rodeo USA. And then Graham Central Station came in and scared everybody. And after a couple of months, Graham Central Station got me, and I played there for like 15 years for Graham Central. As a matter of fact, I got to meet the owner of Graham Central Station after they closed down. And we're pretty good friends now, but he's got more money than I do.
Right. But you said you played with Willie and some other, where were some places you played with them?
Vanderbilt Plaza Museum Club in Arizona, the Main Street East in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been to Grand Ole Opry. Just every stage is, if there's a flatbed trailer, these guys play like I do. Willie's played at the Furs over at Alamogordo on a flatbed trailer when I first met him. He had short hair back in the early 70s.
Yeah, that's what I admire about, you know, people like you and those guys. They'll pretty much play everywhere, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be in the biggest venue.
It doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a bit of difference.
And I think that speaks a lot more to country than it does to most genres.
Nobody in country is expecting to be a star. We do it because we like to sing.
That's good to hear. All right, so I know. You mentioned to me that right now, one of your, with the COVID-19 going on and everybody kind of suffering a little bit here, you mentioned to me that you are getting out in the community and doing some things to help. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, and I've offered it to everybody. Put it on Facebook. If there's a business in Las Cruces, in New Mexico, that I can get to, that my wife will allow me to come and I won't get in too much trouble. If you can get me out of traffic and out of the sun, I will come and play music and help you maybe make an electric bill or rent payment or whatever. The tips that I get, you will get everything.
Wow.
Get a hold of me, and if I'm not busy and my wife will let me, I would love to come out and help you if I can.
What's the best way to get a hold of you, Neil? Facebook? Or?
Facebook is probably easy. Everybody's.
What's your
Neil Mccowen.
Neil Mccowen.
Just call Neil Mccowen. Just get on Facebook.
Okay. All righty. And so I know you mentioned to me, near and dear to my heart, I told you I'm a teacher, and I was kind of surprised in a way to find out that, but the more you talked about it, I could tell you have the passion. You were also an educator yourself.
Man, I never had a job. I'm one of those guys that I've grown old and I've never had a job. I taught school for most of 40 years. I taught at Mayfield, Las Cruces High School, where I retired, and I went to El Paso, and I ran an alternative program down there for a lot of years. I just love school. I love the kids.
And you were saying they gave you the toughest of the bunch, huh?
No, I asked for them. I like, you know what? If you want an easy job in teaching, teachers out there, pay attention to me.
Yeah, I'm right here.
If you want a good job and you don't want to get fired and you want to keep your job, find the toughest job in school with the toughest kids in school that nobody else wants to deal with.
That's for sure.
Take that job because they're not going to aggravate you. And I did it thinking I was doing something, and I fell in love with every one of my kids, man. I've got a bunch of BD kids that are now teachers. Not only did they graduate high school, they're teachers out all over this valley.
And you said you were also at Mayfield, huh?
I started at Mayfield. Rusty Van Pelt was the guy that in Virginia Folks, they hired me.
And you were in special education there?
Behavior disorders.
Yeah. Wow. And you told me that a lot of your kids are in construction now.
Oh, yeah.
And what else can?
Well, when I was in the BD, I was a work study coordinator for years, and I'd get the kids jobs working in anything that they could make a living after they got out of high school. We do a great job of spending. Pay attention to me, educators out there and on the school board. We do a great spending money on stuff that we don't need to spend it on. Teach these kids how to put up a 2x4, how to drywall, how to lay a block, how to pour concrete. We are in the southwestern United States. Everything is masonry product. I tried to get it, and my buddy Jesse Gonzalez wouldn't let me get out and get the stuff donated to teach these kids to do that. But that's the kind of stuff we need to be having some of these kids in class. And the kids need to have a choice in what they take.
That's right. No, I couldn't agree with you more. We as teachers talked about that all the time, that these kids need solid skills.
No, you know what? We baby and we look for every excuse not to teach kids. Kids want an education. They'll take it easy if you give it to them. Every kid wants to get an education. Nobody wants to look for a handout. Everybody wants to be their own person. I'm sorry. Here I said I wasn't going to do that.
That's all right. So, but getting back to your music career, Neil, we have this picture here. Can you tell me a little bit about?
You know, a lot of guys that get on stage, they talk about musicians they played with and stuff. I never played with Waylon Jennings, and I have proof. Waylon Jennings played with me. That's my band. That's my stage.
He played with you.
He played with the Good Time Gang. That's exactly. We became pretty good friends. He's a good guy. Big man. That's a great guy right there, dude.
All right. And then I recognize who's in this picture here.
Oh,
Good old Willie.
We were discussing life. we're figuring stuff out.
Yeah, I hesitate to ask how you were discussing life.
Everybody that knows me knows how I know Willie, and Willie's a great man. Willie, I love you, buddy. I love you.
All righty. So, no, but like I said, you've had an awesome career, and we appreciate the way you're giving back.
Love New Mexico,
here in
man.
New Mexico and Las Cruces. I know.
And Texas.
I know you mentioned that you're always around town singing Ruby Tuesdays. What are some of the other?
Oh, I do Ruby Tuesdays, Josefinas. I'm going to do a thing for Dick's Cafe on South Main Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. I'll be there from 11 to 2. I'll be at Ruby Tuesdays this Friday at 7 to 11. I'm going to be giving away some free CDs of both those. I'm only going to give away so many of these places. So, folks, you've got to come out and get one of these CDs. They're really good. They're valuable. These are some valuable CDs. If you come out, I'll give you one. Just throw one. Let me show it.
There you go.
There you go. That's it right here. There you go, Mike.
All right, thank you, sir. All right. Well, Neil, you got to do me a favor, bud.
What's that?
Can you come back later in the show and sing a song or two for us?
Absolutely.
All right, because we can't let you go without being on the main stage here. So, folks, when we come back after these messages, we are going to invite the future president and vice president of the United States here onto the show. And then, like I said, later on in the show, Neil's going to come back on our main stage and sing some songs for us. So you're not going to want to miss that. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Welcome back to This Week. Folks, as I mentioned in my monologue, we are in the height of election season. And November 3rd, Election Day. I know Scotty and I are very excited because this year we're casting our vote for president. And speaking of Election Day and president, we have in the house tonight, we are so excited. We have two people here with us that one is running for president, one is running for vice president of the Constitution Party. Let's welcome Sam Titttle and Dave Sanders.
Hello, everybody. Good to meet you. Thank you so much.
So Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself and why are you running for president?
I'm running for president because we have got to have some leadership, and I'm tired of the fake president that like this $3 bill.
So I know you have your roots are definitely here in the El Paso and New Mexico area. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, my grandfather is the one that brought us New Mexico. Generations ago, the government asked for a Spanish culture. So if you have any problems with the Hispanic neighborhood, come and see me. That's my grandfather, Don Gaspar Garcia, the family that brought us Albuquerque, New Mexico, Santa Fe, architects, and just absolutely right down there in the hacienda. That would be our family. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
I know you mentioned to me that you were a little disappointed that you weren't able to be part of the presidential debates, but I can promise you we're not going to mute your mic.
I am so glad I'm here with you, Dr. Sam. So glad. You know, I'm looking for a director of Education, our Secretary of Education, and that PhD is going to come in handy. We're going to get those kids back in track.
Are we making that announcement here right now? If
We're
you win,
making that announcement
under
right
Secretary
here.
of Education?
Secretary of Education.
All right.
Who else would have said? Yeah, go. Wait, listen, we got to get those masks off those kids now. We got to get rid of this COVID. They tell us that it's going to come off in about 10 days. But
Right after the
you
election,
were
right?
asking me again about those debates. I'm pretty sad that I didn't get on those debates because I'm the only real president. Madam President.
That's
Tittle.
right.
Yeah, Sam 2020.
We need a woman in the White House.
We sure do. We got a clean house. We're coming.
So tell me, how do you feel about term limits?
Term limits, we definitely have to have term limits. I'm even thinking about the Supreme Court. They're arguing about loading the Supreme Court on the Democrat. Packing. Oh, let me borrow that.
Yeah,
Beam
you
me
wanna
up,
see- you wanna see
Scotty.
Scott? Speaking
We're
of packing,
coming.
he
Speaking
comes
of
in a
packing.
6-pack and a 12-pack.
That's right. We've got to do that. We've got to go back to term limits. The executive branch is the one that deals with that. And we want to have a good balance. But we've got to stop what we're doing now. So if these judges aren't giving us what we need, we're definitely going to have a Supreme Court justice that comes out on term limits too. That's it.
So we did a little segment before the interview today where you were coming into town on the Sam train. And tell us a little bit about what it's like been campaigning on the road for you.
Hashtag Sam Train, folks. That's hashtag SAMMTRAIN. We're coming in, and it's pretty independent. But what we've got to do is bring in God, Constitution, and we the people. And it's really nice being here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Thank you for having us in this beautiful
It's our pleasure to have you.
in this,
It's not often we get presidential candidates on the show, so this is very exciting for us as well. And your vice president
That's
here, your
right,
running
and
mate.
vice presidents.
Dave, tell us, I know you were telling me before the show, tell us how you two got together, because it's a real interesting story.
Okay. First, thank you for getting us on the Las Cruces channel.
Of course.
And it's the first time I've
Our
been on
pleasure.
TV for anything except for either crashing on my bicycle or singing. So this is kind of new to me. When I met Sam, I have run a restaurant in Jerome, Idaho, and her and TC and Trino, they all came to the gas station. It was where I was getting gas because I'm a delivery driver as well. So my wife was in the car with me, and she was saying, "Do you think they're really running for president?" And I said, "Probably." And she's like, "Let's go meet them." And I said, "No." And she's like,
No
"Why?"
way.
I said, "Because they're politicians." I said, "They're just going to tell us everything we want to hear." And then she finally convinced me to go meet them. And so we go up and start talking to them. And all of a sudden, these people, they were telling me the truth for a change.
Yeah, like I didn't want to get out of the Sam train. We run into these Trumpers, and I'm pushed into walls and glass windows, and they spit on me and trip me, and I was like, oh, not this one. So I was just as reluctant as you were, weren't I? Wasn't I?
That's what I heard anyway. So it ended up, I brought him over to our restaurant for dinner. And then the next day we were closed. It was a Sunday, so I got some hamburgers and stuff. And because I'm a chef, so I like to cook. So we ate lunch again. And then the next thing you know, here I am on TV.
And the whole time we told him the truth. 10% taxes. We're going to cut those wages off that Congress. We're going to give you back your people, your money, people. You're going to get back to governing yourself. Ask me a few questions, Dr. Sam, now that you're in the education department.
Well, I will say with Dave, any man who wears a Looney Tunes tie is great in my book.
That's your Congress. This is your Congress. Look, we take things seriously, and that's why we're here. You need a leader. You need to stop the fake and the real fake. Now you're going to have leadership. Who cleans the house better than a woman?
There you
We're
go.
coming.
And Dave, I see you have your autograph there. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so we have thousands of these cards that we're handing out to people all over, everywhere except for New Mexico primarily, but I'm giving them out anyway. But what I do is, for a few of them, I've actually put my autograph on. And these two, for when I'm in the White House as the Vice President, these are for you. They'll be like a Willie Mays baseball card.
That's good. Doc, let me borrow one. The reason we have these is because the Constitution is deliberate about who gets to be president. And as long as you are 35 and a day,
right.
and you are here 14 years consecutively, and you're a natural-born citizen, Kamala, you're not a natural-born citizen. So here we got Joe Biden. You will not be president. And we've got Donald Trump. You're a real fake president. So what we've got here is we've got to show you that we're on all ballots, all 50 state ballots. Some of them you're going to have to go in and write the name in, Sam Titttle. But let's get serious for a little bit, can we, Doc?
First, let me say this, though. You see how important these are going to be? The president took your other copy of it.
Yeah, that's going to be, but I'm giving it right back to him because I'm a giver, not a taker. We're going to see to it that you do have your health care, that you do have 10% taxes across the board, that you do have education, that you are not staying at home locked up in your home, that you're able to have your small businesses. I'm for that small business. We've got to stop what we're doing right now. We got to get back to giving you back your country, give you back your government.
Right.
Let you people out there govern. It's your turn. This is your presidency, and you've got to get serious, because if we don't get there, Doc, we are not going to have a 2024. I will take President Donald Trump.
Sam, Dave, I'm going to ask you to stay right here. We're going to have to take a little break, but we do not want to stop talking with you guys, that's for sure, because this is very interesting. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages, and we have a video that Dave shot for the campaign that you're going to see right after this break. See you then.
Watch out, you better go vote, but not for Trump or Biden, I hope. Sam and Dave are coming to town. We know if you're for Biden, we know if you're for Trump. If your vote goes into the mail, it goes right into the dump. Hey, you better watch out, you better go vote, but not for Trump or Biden, I hope. Sam and Dave are coming, Sam and Dave are coming, Sam and Dave are coming to town. Hashtag SamTrain, SAMMTRAIN.
Welcome back to This Week. So we just saw a video that Dave, the vice president, future vice president over here, shot for the campaign, and little Santa Claus is coming to town theme there. I don't know how Santa feels about that.
I'm sure you won't mind. I've been a good boy this year.
That's good. You better be.
Right?
So what? Tell me a little bit about the history of that video.
Well, we were in one of the many ghost town looking places that we were here in New Mexico, and they were all taking pictures and just kind of looking around the place, and I was standing back behind the train, and it just came to me, and so I did about a 14-second version of just the first verse, and then TC and I came up with the rest of the song together. So it's our very first song we've written together, and TC Country.
An original score, huh?
Correct, and I hope to see it at least in the top 5 on the pop charts.
That's right.
For sure.
Especially if you win, it's going to be there this Christmas, right?
That's correct. Right, and we need people to start singing it around town and whatnot, so that you can get those people into the spirit, because what you're going to get when you bring us into office is better than what Santa Claus is going to bring you, because it's going to be real, and it's going to be the truth.
Truth will change, yeah.
All right.
Good, yeah, we're excited.
So Sam, I know you're running, like I said earlier, running on the Constitution Party. So I know the Second Amendment is a huge deal for you. And why do you call yourself the Second Amendment enforcer?
I'm glad you asked me that, Doc. And remember, we're at that PhD level. We got to educate these people. The Second Amendment is your last line of defense. And you got two parties that are fighting and telling you they're going to take your guns and they're going to keep you're going to keep your guns. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to realize that we got 10 days to go. And I'm so glad we're here in the Las Cruces channel.
That's right.
Bringing you the news. And I'm telling all of you out there, hold on to your Second Amendment. That's your gun. That's your weapon. And a lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to tell a lot of you spiritual people out there, that came from Jesus Christ. Luke 22:36, he told you to go to town, take your cloak, take your sword. And if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy a sword. So look, that's your Second Amendment. We've got to hold on to that because that's your last line of defense. Did anybody hear that? You guys out there? You heard that. That's that no-knock warrant. No. Your Fourth Amendment protects you. We're coming in on that Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. Voters, you've got to say Sam Titttle. Put that in there. Sam, write it in. If it's not there, fit us in. We're going to be your president, and you're going to hold on to your guns and your weapons, and you're going to have an open carry country, and nobody's going to bother. Everybody's going to be a kumbaya, happy. We're the uniter, not the divider. This is it.
So you've been uniting people all across the country. We have some pictures of some of your travels that you have as you've gone around. You told me earlier that you've been to how many states?
45 states, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times. We've returned. We were here just when we got here. Your Governor Grisham decided to shut down New Mexico, and whoa, that was not too cool.
Yeah, that's been
but we
happening a lot.
continue. We're an essential. We're an essential, folks. All of you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we're gonna bring up some of the pictures here that, as we just
There
talked
you
about,
go.
you are the Second Amendment enforcer.
That's correct. Sam, saving America's majesty for millions. God, majesty. 2020. Look at that little girl.
Who's that?
That little girl was that little girl to a United States Navy father that said, don't worry, John Fitzgerald Kennedy has just been shot, but you'll be president of the United States of America. So that little girl grew up to be, that little people grew up to be we the people. There you go, Garrett Hake.
So how's the media?
MSNBC.
That's what the media? MSNBC?
I had to sneak up on Garrett because you know what? MSNBC, Fox News, except for Las Cruces channel, they were smart enough to have your next president, meet your next president and your vice president.
They are, right
there
here.
You go. There, there, look at that. Make America America again. And that is our trusty TC country.
And that's your husband, right?
Yes, isn't he gorgeous? Ladies, he loves hugging and
He's
kissing.
taken, though, right?
Yeah.
And you ring your bell.
And he rings my bell. This is in Boise, Idaho. Look at that. We do lots of good things. Boise, Idaho, where we met
And I was going to say, that's
David
where you're from, right,
Sandage.
Jake?
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's in the
All
front
right.
of that.
And there's our future
There's
vice
our-
president.
A working man. We want to let you know, folks, all of you out there, he's a working man. That puts us all into the real world. Now we get back to work. 27 to 33 million jobs.
And just to be fair, the sunglasses I was wearing them were French, but now I've got American ones.
There you go. All right. I got to have American made. All right.
You know,
There
need
we
to bring
are.
these jobs
Look
back.
there. Look, that's still Boise, Idaho, and that's a packing. What's that? Pistol packing mom is what she calls herself. Yeah. And then we got Trino. I want you to see Trino there. He's our security
I was gonna say,
guy.
this is your security
There we go.
guard,
It's
right?
moving on. But he is our trusty security. We can't do it without him. He's been there 12 years, folks.
Wow.
And then we got a lot of people we meet along the road. It's
Yeah,
super.
this isn't your
This
first
is
go
great.
around either, right?
No, sir.
You ran in
2012, 2016.
2012, 2016, here you are in 2020.
But then, listen, God's perfect vision is 2020 vision. You're going to have a woman, and it's going to be Sam Titttle. You've got somebody que puede comunicar en español, que puede comunicar, je parle français aussi.
Hey,
We've got them on the north,
do
we've
it
got
all,
them on the
right?
south, we got them. Hey, where everybody's going to understand. Back to work. We got to have a base revenue. No free lunches.
There it is.
Yeah,
Sam
there you
Tittle,
go.
2020.
Sam Tittle 2020. I really want to thank you, Las Cruces channel. You are smart as a whip.
So,
Yeah.
to get serious just for a moment,
Let's-
I know our country, especially this past summer, has been divided a little bit. What can you tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about that?
I'm pretty sad. It's pretty sad. We're here in New Mexico. I love New Mexico. My grandparents brought you New Mexico. But as you're walking around Roswell and Las Cruces, and there's some other places here that had houses are empty now. After 3 months of being with these masks and locked in your houses and no jobs, can't pay your rent, can't pay your mortgage, losing these small businesses because they're shut down. You have to walk up to a McDonald's. Think about us in the SAM train, driving in for your food, and you can't get through because they're closed, and it's all drive-through. But go ahead, let's find out some more about what you know.
Well, I know we saw a picture of your husband there in the video, and speaking of videos, he created a video for you or he's actually singing in the video, correct?
And that's what he did for us on the road. When those Trumpers would come up to us and they were like, "Oh, Trumper," I had to tell him the truth. He's a real fake president. And listen, people need to know that he's already taken $200 million. Ladies and gentlemen, voters, this is your chance. You either vote for the devil you know and the devil you don't know, or you vote for God. And this one is for God, because we got to give you back your money.
Well, we're gonna take a look at that video right now.
Let's take a look at it.
Well, I wrote this song for all of you Trumpers and Biden supporters, and I'm asking you to vote for Sam Tittle for president, sam2020.com, hashtag SamTrain, SAMMTRAIN. And here it goes. Well, I'm sorry about your bad luck. I'm sorry, I don't want to get mixed up with your troubles, your hard time, what you should have done the last time. You're crying, you're dying, all that you've been denying, 'cause I'm sorry about your bad luck. You know it ain't the first time, you know it won't be the last. These troubles that you're facing, they're bound to come to pass. 'Cause I'm sorry about your bad luck. Thank you. I'm PC Country.
All right. That's great. So your husband created that for you. That's pretty amazing.
Brilliant, huh?
Yes.
He was able to give us a little free time there. I didn't mention the flowers. Every once in a while we stop to smell the flowers, and that's really important. Yeah.
I mean, you've
They're
gotten this.
fantastic.
You had the opportunity to crisscross this beautiful country of ours, and of course you have to take a chance every once in a while to stop and smell the roses, right?
That's correct.
All right.
And look, these masks that we're wearing.
And you can see we got our divider right here.
And but he brings me the flowers that we can smell all the time. I have to think about that a lot because it gets my mind off of what we have to do. Right now, it's a pretty serious situation.
It is.
And we've had a lot of fun here tonight, haven't we?
Right.
Haven't we, y'all? Yeah. Well, we've got to get back to reality. And the reality is that I'm running for president. You got about 10 days. You got to get in there and write it in every state. Do not let them do this because they've been running these free things and quick and all of that. You can't do that. Let's not rush it. Sam Tittle, Sam2020.
All right. And I think that's about the best way we can end it. Sam Tittle, 2020, samtittle.com.
/donate. Hey, we've been out there on God's money. It's your time to dish in a little bit.
All right. So Sam, Dave, future president, vice president, good luck to you on November 3rd. We're going to be rooting for you. And this Sam will be right back after these messages. See you then.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000.
You won't pay any of that when you have home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club.
They'll repair or replace your covered home appliances and systems for around $1 a day.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
Call the number on your screen now. Get a month free plus $75 off your first year HSC home warranty. No worries, just service.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor. And they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
Welcome back. You know, we were so honored to have Sam Titttle here on the show. As mentioned, she's running for president. She's on the ticket here in New Mexico. That's SAMM.com. She's running as an independent on the Constitution Party, her and her running mate. So again, you're going to want to check that out on Election Day. But as promised, folks, we gave you a little teaser during our interview segment with Neil Mccowen, but now he's here. He's on our main stage, and he's going to be singing a song for you. So take it away, Neil.
Hey, Sam, thank you, buddy, for having me here. I'd like to do you a song by a band that I really like a lot, Zach Brown, Chicken Fried. Thank you for having me here again. Hope you like this. Don't forget Friday, Ruby Tuesdays, 7 o'clock. You know I like the chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. Pair of jeans that fit just right. Radio. Well, I was raised underneath the shade of a Georgia pine, and that's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. In my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken fried. I throw a beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Love in a woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. It's funny how it's the little things in life that mean the most. Not the way you live, what you drive, or the price tags on your clothes. No peace of mind on a dollar sign, this I've come to know. If you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses for a toast, and a little bit of chicken fried. A beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio like seeing sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. I thank God for my life and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, the ones that give their lives so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like air chicken fried. A cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio like the stars. Love in my woman's eye, feel the touch of a precious just, and your mother's love like she could cry. A cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and your mother's love. Sam, buddy, I got one more song for you. You're going to like this one because this is what I learned after I came to New Mexico. You got to be able to sing like this in New Mexico, Sam. Clay. Creí que tu vida era y que tú me querías como yo te quiero a ti. Ante la ilusión de mi anhelo, y hubo sol en mi cielo y alegría de vivir. Después mi canción se hizo triste, lloré cuando yo te perdí. I believe that your love was mine and that you love me the way that I love you. Después mi canción se hizo triste, lloré cuando yo te perdí. Creí que tu vida era mía y que tú me querías como yo te quiero a ti, como yo te quiero a ti.
All right, that was amazing, Neil. I love this. I love that song. And if you want to follow Neil, he's going to be performing around town at places like Ruby Tuesday and several clubs here in Las Cruces. You can go to Facebook, follow him. That's Neil Mccowen. And folks, we had a great show tonight. Again, we had running for Senate in the New Mexico Senate 37, our cooking candidate, Dave Gallus. We also had Sam Titttle and Dave Sandage. They're running for the Constitution Party, President and Vice President of the United States. So again, they're going to be on the New Mexico ticket on Election Day, November 3rd. So speaking of Election Day, folks, it's real important that if you're able to, either get in that mail-in ballot or vote on Election Day itself, November 3rd, because it's real important for our country. And as always, a reminder to you to make this week your best week. I'm Sam Stifter. We'll see you soon.